In the southeast of France, next to Marseille, rises the famous creek of the region, the Calanque. Developed in limestone, dolomite, and other carbonate strata along the Mediterranean coast, the Calanque is a steep-sided valley. It was formed by fluvial erosion and the collapse of rocks containing now the roots of the plants. Many parts have also been partially submerged by a rise of the sea level. Nowadays, the Massif des Calanques lie within the Calanque de Sormieu, the Calanque de Pormieux, and the Calanque de Sugiton. The cat-like body and small head genet is a nocturnal and solitary mammal. Really hard to observe, they rest in hollow trees during the day and frequently use the same resting sites. Observed the weasel. Its sense-marking behavior is to depose anal and dermal gland secretion on body rubbing. The list weasel feeds predominantly on mouse-like rodents, including hamster and gerbils. The body is slender and divided into a white underpart and a brown dorsal surface. At high altitudes, the coat can become pure white in winter. In the Calanque, the creek of Marseille, a lot of species have been adapted to their abiotic environment. In the mammals category can be selected the famous black rat, which is one of the most resilient species of the region. Unlike sewer rats, the black rat is purely herbivorous. However, it is observed that the species does not have a precise reproduction period, which led to an increase of the population. The yellow scorpion is a nocturnal animal that is mainly found on the right bank of the Rhône. Also called the Languedoc scorpion because of its location, its level of toxicity varies from region to region and can be thus dangerous to humans. Other insect species have also found their way to survive. Between June to September, caterpillars begin to devour the pines, which leads to a significant weakening of the trees. The ocellated lizard is also one of the 7 species of reptile threatened by extinction in France. This reptile has a massive body and tail, with a triangular head and rounded muzzle. Its tail is slightly larger than the body. Growing by successful moult, the lizard has a third hidden eye which has lost its original function over time. Its role is to capture the light source to regulate its internal clock. Feeding on the ocellated lizards, mammals, and snakes, the Montpellier snake prefers dry terrain and whole-mold forest, plenty of hiding refuges. The large snake can reach a total size of 2.5 meters, has a coloration ranging from brown to greenish, and a solid yellow belly. Feeling in danger, it can stand up like a cobra, blow heavily to impress its opponent, and then bite. The snake is in theory poisonous, but the retracted position of its hooks make it most often harmless to humans. In Marseille, steep ridges welcome a lot of birds. The crested cormorant is a black bird with a bluish reflection and a yellow beak. Unlike its cousin the great cormorant, the bird lives only on rocky coast and seaside islets. Feeding on fishes, it practices group fishing. Nowadays, it is common to observe it flying near the surface of the water because of its wet and non-waterproof plumage. Living in almost all continents, the circlet Jean Leblanc is a diurn raptor. Its non-uniform coat is brown. Its bright yellow eyes accompany his piercing sight. This and its diving abilities flying allow it to hunt its prey at nearly 400 meters away. The bird has also a discreet nest hiding in the trees. Very sensitive to changes in natural area, it is today a rare species. The rainbow wrasse is a carnivorous protogenous hermaphrodite fish. It passes from female to male at a particular stage of its life. The fish lives in small groups. The male, very dominant, has a harem of female, and when it dies, the oldest female of the group replaces him by becoming male in turn. Nearby also live the peacock wrasse, living in the coral reefs of the creeks of Marseilles. It is an elongated fish with a massive body measuring 25 to 40 centimeters. The lips are well developed and plump. Males are green-yellow and more colorful than females. Under the sea, each brand of the red coral is a colony of millions of tiny animals, polyps. Each polyps feed on small planktonic prey and live in collaboration with microalgae. Together, they secrete a red limestone, the skeleton, covered by jellies. The particular link between Marseille inhabitants and the Calanque is popular amongst tourists and locals. The site allows spectacular panorama for those who take the time to visit it. A great number of hikers and climbers frequent the area, following pre-marked trails. However, this excessive use has posed problems of potential damage to vulnerable microhabitats. Underwater, divers can choose between a magnificent silent palette of color in the middle of the fish or a visit near the wrecks, witnesses of the history of Marseille. The Calanque has also been threatened by the reject of heavy metals near the sea. The pollution is still a sensitive subject, opposing responsible plant and environmental activists. Today, ecological changes in the abiotic environment are now observed and solutions to protect vulnerable species are implemented every day in order to protect this heritage jewel of Marseille.